Welcome to a video entitled Graphical Table Creation. Now, I know this doesn't look very graphical because there's some T-SQL code, but if you have seen the video already of creating a table where we did it with code, this right here is where we ended up. And I want to show you how to do this. I'm going to create a very similar table. This one was called Mark. We're going to create a table called Mark2, but we're going to do this one graphically. So this is how we did it with code. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come over here. Notice I'm in SQL Server Management Studio, obviously, and I am in the AdventureWorks database. And if I come to tables right here, I will right click on tables. Now always left click and make it turn blue. In some instances, if you right click without making it turn blue first, you'll see a different flyout menu. Okay, so always left click first, then right click. Just a little tip. So if I right click on tables and choose new table, notice what happens. You Access people probably recognize this. It looks very much like what you've seen in Access before. So let's create our table. Remember, it had the first column of person ID. And what was my data type? It was an integer, right? And so these are in alphabetical order. So I'll go find integer and grab it right there. Notice by default, if we did it in code, it allowed nulls, and I do not want to allow nulls, so I just uncheck that. Okay. Then I go down here to create my second column. Last name. I just hit tab. Now my data type, I'm just going to start typing it. VARC. And notice it's already got it there for me. And it defaults to 50, and that's just what I want. So I'll just tab again, and I don't want to allow nulls on the name. Hit tab again. Notice how simple this is. So VARCHAR. And on this one, I'm just going to right arrow now, hold down the shift key, hit right arrow twice to select that, then put 25 in, right? Tab over. I can click the mouse or I can hit the space bar to take the allow nulls off and move down to the next one. And this one's going to be age and tab over. And this is tinyInt. So I just start typing that. I could have also got the drop down and scrolled up and down and found it. There it is. Just choose it. And I'll allow nulls on the age. Okay. Now, when I'm done with this, I can come down here and notice there are some other things that I can work with down here about whether it's an identity column, whether it's sparse, and all these other things. We're not even going there right now. So at this point, I'm done. Now, how am I going to name this thing? I don't see how to name it. Now, this is scary. I'm going to close this out, and it says, do you want to save the following items? Well, yes, I do want to save that. So yes. Enter the name for the table, okay, and I will call it Mark2, and I choose OK. Now that is a bit funky. It would feel better if that thing would give me a little blank to type a name in right off the bat, but it doesn't. So if I come over here, right click on tables and refresh, and notice there is Mark2. And if I expand that, look at my columns, they're just like I created. Okay, now which way do you like creating a table? This is most likely the way they will test you on the exam. They like to use T-SQL code on the exam. Depending on the kind of exam you get, I have seen exams where you actually go in and you can use the interface and you can create a table. But this is totally up to you in the real world and how you create them. I will tell you, most database administrators that I see create them graphically because it's a little more logical and they can see the nulls and they can work on the bottom of the screen and set properties and stuff. But anyway, that is how to create a table graphically in SQL Server Management Studio.